La única comunidad que nos va a sacar de este hueco se llaman los negros
100%.
americanos.
100%.
African American community is the only community that has the power in this country to change anything. They are the only one with the experience of civil matter. They are the only one que tenían el esclavo ahí mismitico. They are the only one that are not going to get deported anywhere, and you cannot put them all in jail. So African American community, which is the community that is stepped on by Cubans, the most are the only ones that are going to save the Latinos. And I clap for the African American community that has not come out because it is not. I do. We didn't do shit for them.
I get it. But I don't.
Me and you support, but in masses, we didn't support anything that was going with them. Latinos look at Cubans specifically. I'm not gonna talk about any other community because I'm not part of that community, even though I'm a Latina with them. Cubans talk shit about African Americans.
It's true.
Cubans did not support African Americans. Cubans think that they all victimize themselves, of this, all of that. African Americans are the only ones that are going to save your asses, Latinos. So you better start kissing. If you're going to kiss some ass in this country, you better kiss some black ass.
So let me get this straight, just so I could clarify it. You don't want to go back to Mexico. You're protesting to stay away from Mexico. But you're waving the Mexican flag and you're waving it with pride. You're waving it in the United States, the country you're trying to stay in, the country you don't want to leave. But yet you're waving the Mexican flag with pride.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching this video from. I'm your host, I'm your narrator, Peter, and this is my channel, Peter Explores, Peter from Kenya. Kindly make sure you engage with my channel, get to know what's happening between the Black Americans and the Latinos. And I did a video before. Black people were saying about Latinos. Today we are here to talk about Latinos who right now they are sending strong messages to black people all over America. And I know most of you have seen the videos which are circulating online of Latino community sharing their messages to the black people and sharing their thoughts about what's happening and what has been happening. The black Americans, as we all know, never came out for the protests which were in the LA. Protests were mostly held by the Latinos, let's say the Latino, the Hispanic, the Cuban, in general Latino community. And the black people never came out, to be there with them, to support them and protest with them, and which led to so many questions being asked, like, why did they not really come out to help the Latinos in the protest? And Latinos were also saying that Latinos came out in large numbers saying that the black people have betrayed them. According to what Trump said in a certain video, Trump came out clearly and said that he only needed votes from the Latinos, and after that, doesn't want anything to do with the Latinos.
Big old stress pimple, because I cannot believe I gotta get on here and say this, but this is Trump's America, so here we go. One black person does not represent the black community in its entirety. One Latino does not represent all Latinos, so on and so forth. So those of you generalizing in the comments are just as ignorant as the woman in that video. Black people, it is okay to say that the woman in the video does not align with who you are, just as I can say that the 59% of Latinas who voted for that monstrosity of a human does not align with who I am. I do not care how many of us voted against our best interests. We are not the same. And those Latinos who voted for the 34 count convicted felon, if we took a deep dive into exactly why that is, we would have to confront some real ugly truths about our community. But not all of us are ready for that conversation. But education is the answer to all of this. Conveniently, there is a war on education in our country currently. There is a war on research, a war on science. Why? Ask yourselves why that is. Because the more sick we are, the more stupid we are, the more separated we are, the more powerful they are. When will we stop giving them so much power?
Latinos came out saying that black people have the power, black people have the power in their hands to change anything in America. And that's why the Latinos were claiming that they needed the black people so that they can help them to, to protest. And after the protests, the Latinos could be heard on whatever they were protesting for. And the Latinos were strongly saying that they needed the black people, but the black people were not there to help them. The Latinos were relying on black people simply because black people have the voice and have the power to change anything in the US. That's what most Latino people are currently saying on the social media, as you've seen from the several videos which have been posted by the Latino people. Other Latinos are coming out saying that black people should come out and help them simply because Latinos are not the only immigrants in the USA.
What do you mean y'all thought we were immigrants? Y'all thought black people, black Americans, African Americans, blacks, us, were immigrants. The hardest lessons, clearly, it's going to take me a long time to learn and figure out is that other people just don't know what I know. I assume that a lot of people know what I know. That's why y'all keep saying that, huh? That makes sense, I guess. The we're next. Y'all think, what? How do y'all not know how long we've been a part of this country? Black people fought in the Crispus Attucks. Did everybody not, at my little church, every Black History Month, there was this huge thing. I'll never forget when I came to my grandma's house. It was a huge package, and it was all of these cards. They were ABC cards, but on every card, letter of the alphabet and an important person from Black history. And that was what we did all February at Sunday school. Like, we learned those cards. We would have to, and then we'd line up at like the Black History program, and we'd have to read them out loud. So I guess I just assumed, oh my God.
My views on that, I would say that the black people are the people who they never want anyone, or they're people who they don't want to be ruled, like they don't want to be told what to do. That's according to my own perspective. Kindly watch these videos to see what the Latinos are saying about the black people.
Hey, fellow Latinos, I'm not saying it's okay or right that black people are like, no, let them fend for themselves. I mean, honestly, it is okay, but I'm not saying like, yes, let's do that, because unity is what helps us. But also, like, I know it's not supposed to be transactional. I just need you guys to start thinking, because you guys are like, all gung-ho, active out there, unified together in the streets now. But where were you when the George Floyd protests were? I personally was out there with my friends who were Asian, Pacific Islander, Mexican, and Puerto Rican. And then I'm Mexican myself, and a white husband. We were out there, okay? And I've gotten comments from people in my community, people in my family, who have been like, well, you think you're black. What about me? What about my content? What about the way I speak, the way I act? What about you makes you think that I think I'm black? Oh, because I advocate for black people too, as much as I advocate for my people? It shouldn't be transactional. You shouldn't have to have a dog in the fight to care. You should just have basic empathy. You should just care about people. You see a sad story, oh, you cry. You want to help out however you can. You guys see that all the time. You see a puppy in danger, oh, let's rescue all the puppies. Why is it so hard to do with humans? Black people don't owe us anything. But even one of the major interviews going around about the guy whose girlfriend was taken because they were just recording, in that there's a black man who's in the background, and he's like, si se puede. He's out there. He has nothing to gain from this. So think about that. Don't go back to the anti-blackness. Learn and stop saying the N-word. Do that. Stop saying the N-word and humble yourself. If black people tell you something's offensive, change it. Change it and don't become defensive.
Let's continue the conversation about non-black Latinos and Hispanics using the N-word, because a lot of people are going out of their way to make asses out of themselves to defend their use of the N-word when they're not black. A common thing that I hear is, well, if black artists don't want us to use the N-word, then stop putting it in their songs. If the artist is black, they can use the N-word however they see fit, and it is perfectly reasonable for them to not want their non-black fans to not sing along to that part of the song, because it is incredibly easy to skip that part of the song when you're singing along. One of my favorite artists of all time is Kendrick Lamar. It is hard to find a Kendrick Lamar song that doesn't use the N-word somewhere in it. Does that stop me from singing along to the rest of the song? No, I will still sing the song word for word, bar for bar, but I will skip the N-word because I know that's not my word to say. It is incredibly easy for me to do so because that word is not part of my regular vocabulary. Look, I'm not using the word right now. See how easy that was for me? Then I'll hear a lot of Latinos say, well, if they don't want us to use the N-word, they should stop using the word themselves. Once again, they can use the word however they see fit because it is their history that word affects. It is their culture that word affects, not mine. And then I'll hear all the time, it's just a word. Get over it. It's not that big a deal. It's just a word. Why are you getting offended by words? The simple answer is it's not just a word. This word was used to strip black people in the United States of their humanity. It was easier to treat a person like an animal, like a science experiment, when you didn't have to call them people, when you didn't have to call them humans. So instead of calling them that, they called them the N-word. Because it was far easier to treat them like an animal if they gave them a name like an animal. And the fact of the matter is, whether these people want to be honest with themselves or not, is if there was a word that was used as a slur against Hispanics that had the same amount of weight as the N-word does in the black community, then 100% these Latinos and Hispanics would make such a big deal, a fuss about not wanting other races and other cultures to use that word. All of a sudden, they understand the power that words hold. But the fact that there isn't a word that holds that same weight makes it hard for them to admit to themselves that they know it's more than just a word and that it actually holds a lot of weight and history. The more you go out of your way to defend your use of the N-word, the more ignorant and stupid you just look, because it is so incredibly easy to not use the word. So incredibly easy. If it is not part of your regular vocabulary, it is so easy to not use. And the only people who get offended or upset by someone telling them they can't use the N-word is people who definitely use the N-word. No person who doesn't use the N-word gets offended when someone says you shouldn't be using the N-word. And yes, technically there's nothing stopping you from using the word. Just like there's nothing stopping you from going out onto the streets without wiping your ass. But just because you can do it and get away with it doesn't mean you should, because you look like an idiot when you do.
I don't think black people have a right to tell white people or Hispanics what they can and cannot say. And that means if a black person wants to use the N-word, that means a white person also can use the N-word, because all lives matter, not just Black Lives Matter. So with that said, the fact that they're trying to sue this woman, this white woman, they're trying to take her kid away from her because she used the N-word, just shows you how toxic cancel culture is. And this is a great case as to how we need to stop cancel culture. It is anti-American. It is anti-free speech. And if you can say the N-word, so can I, whether you like it or not. It doesn't affect your freedom, but you're sure affecting mine by telling me that I can't say it because I'm not black. So make the N-word great again.
According to the videos we've seen, most of the black people are now, trying to engage others and trying to engage black people to come out and help them, as you've seen from the videos. And that's a good thing and that's a good move. I would always encourage the black people to, try and help, but the black people have their own, they have got their own reasons why they never came out to help. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next video.